What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a Mustang in the garage. We're going to be doing a boost leash installation. We have this single turbo Mustang. If you guys remember, about a year ago, this is the Mustang I put the On3 Single Turbo kit on. It had a Eboost too, but now he's upgrading to a boost leash. So we have the leash here. We got the controller, solenoids, map sensor. We have the loom and stuff. I separated them and lubed them out so that way it looks really nice once I install everything. We also have the Fat Fab mount for the boost leash. This one goes right under the radio. So yeah, gonna be super nice install. I did a boost leash install about 3 years ago on my car. That was a twin turbo install. This one is gonna be a single turbo, so the lines and stuff are gonna be a little bit different. Nothing too crazy, because this still run 2 wastegates, so it's gonna be pretty similar. But yeah, let's jump right into the video and get started. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is install the Fat Fab mount and the boost leash controller here and run the harness. The reason for that is this is in a fixed location. So this goes right here, it has a screw, it has the mount. The harness plugs into that, and then everything else follows off of that. So I'm installing this first so I know where the right length and everything is. Because as I said, this is fixed. Everything else I could put wherever I want to put, or where the harness length allows me to put them. So first thing you want to do is remove this little rubber cover here, and then there are 2 screws here. You want to just unscrew those 2 7mm screws. You want to just unscrew those, and then this little back part here that comes out. This is where I run the harness. We'll just get a little pick and take that out. Yeah, so you just use the pick or a small screwdriver. I had to get a small screwdriver and just plug that little cover out. Comes out like that. And then that's what it looks like with the cover removed. What I'm going to do is, it's pretty dark, so I'm going to drill a hole about right here or right here. I'm going to drill a hole so I could pass the harness through. The harness comes in through here and it plugs right into the back of the leash controller. If you ever remove the leash, this cover goes back in and everything is covered up. Let me remove both of those 7mm screws. Let me go ahead and remove those. Okay, so we got the 2 screws removed. And just to give you an idea, see, that's how the mount goes, and it lines up with the screw holes. But before you bolt this in, you're going to want to drill the hole and pass the harness through to plug into the back of the leash. The harness is not that big. It's probably about 3/4 of an inch wide, and then not that high. So I think what I've done in the past and what I'm gonna do here is drill just right above this bracket so it comes straight out and it goes straight into the leash. Again, you could take all of this off and route the wire under here, but this is pretty close, so it could pinch the wires. I've drilled holes before. I like that idea. And again, if you ever remove the leash or do anything, you put the cover back and all of that is covered up. So yeah, let's get the drill and drill a hole right here in this area. Okay, so we have the hole made, and next we're gonna get the wire through, the harness through from the back side. Again, if you guys don't want to drill a hole, you can remove the console, remove the little bracket there, and you'll be able to fish the wire under. You'd still do have to trim the bracket a little bit, so that way the wire is not being pinched while under there. But you have to remove this this console cover to get to that. Again, this hole is going to be covered. There's nothing behind there, so you know, you could drill the hole. That's fine. So again, you're going to get this through the back side. Now, how do you do that without removing all these panels and stuff? So the little cover here, there's this little panel cover. I removed two 7mm bolts. I removed those, and then what I normally do is get a wire hanger and just put a little bend on the side of it, and I fish the wire hanger through like that until it gets over, let's see, so I fish it through until I could see the wire hanger here, and basically I just hook the harness on there. So you basically pull it through, and in some cases you get lucky and it comes right out. In other cases, the hook comes off. So it's right there. I'm gonna try to use a little bird beak and maybe a little pick and just try to pull it through right there. Well, you get the idea. You fish it through and pull the harness through. Let me go ahead and try to pull it through with the bird beak. Okay, so the harness is through. You don't need a whole lot, because the back you probably need about that much. So let's go ahead and get the boost leash and the bracket. We could plug that in and then bolt it in. So inside the bag with the bracket, it comes with 4 screws and 2 nuts and 2 spacers. The smaller screws and nuts go in here. So the 2 nuts, you place them here, inside here, so it lines up with the hole, just like that. If you place the other one, it's going to fall out. So basically, it goes like that. 1 screw to line up with that nut you just placed in there. Don't tighten it. You don't have to over tighten this too much. It doesn't take too much to tighten it. So that's that. It's bolted on. You got the plug hole in the back. So now you need the 2 spacers and the 2 Phillips head screws. So the 2 spacers go inside the hole right there where you took the 2 7mm screws from. That's going to help support the bracket once you put it in. Next, you're just going to want to plug the bracket in. Let's see. Not plug the bracket, plug the bracket. Plug the leash controller in. Small hands and fingers help. Okay, let's make sure it's secure. Line it up. You get the supplied longer screws that came with the bracket. You just line up the screw holes and screw it in. Push this back a little. Again, these screws you don't want to over tighten either. Just snug it up enough to where the bracket doesn't move. This stuff is 3D printed, so you don't want to over tighten and break it. And that's it. We've successfully mounted the leash controller with the fat bracket. So now you can finish up all the wiring stuff. So now, as I said, that's in place. So everything else now is gonna go off of that. We have to run the this one goes outside, the longest wire goes outside to the solenoids. This one goes to the map sensor, which more than likely is gonna be inside because that doesn't reach outside. And then power and ground, ignition, power and ground. So pretty simple. So let's go ahead. What I'm gonna do is ignition, power and ground first. Let's go ahead and get that started. Okay, so I got power and ground already run and connected. This car already had an e-boost. I just took it out. So the power was already ran. I just cut it from the e-boost, connected to the leash. Power was from the passenger side kick panel fuse box. There are several open spots there. You just got to test and see which one has ignition on power, and you can use that. Ground I got from the OBD connector, from this nut right here for the OBD connector. That's where I got the ground, and I loomed everything up nicely. I'm gonna mount it up, tuck it up under here once I'm done. Have the map sensor plugged in. Not gonna mount it yet because I have to run the line, so I'll go over that. And then this wire is for the solenoid. This one I have to run to the engine bay. So actually, let me get this going so that way run this to the engine bay. I'll see the length that I have and I'll know where I can mount the solenoid. Also, once you connect your power and ground, you could just turn the ignition on. I have the key. Turn the ignition on, and you'll be able to just see that the gauge comes on, and you have successfully wired it up correctly. Ignition off, turns off. So let's go ahead and run that loom for the solenoid to the engine bay. So right next to the brake booster, there's a little rubber cap for the automatic cars. For the manual car, this would be where the master cylinder for the clutch goes. So on the auto cars, there is no clutch pedal, there's no master. So there's this little rubber cap that's right up next to the brake booster. So as you can see right there, you see the hole. So that hole, this cap goes there. Let's see if we can. You have to remove this carpet a bit right there, and you can see the hole. So that's where I'm gonna run the wire for the solenoids. So basically, small hole inside here, push the plug through and put the cap back, pull the wire through. Good to go. Simple, easy, effective. So like that, and then you're gonna be able to pull it right through. So I'm gonna put the, well, I'm not gonna put the cap back. I'm probably gonna run the vacuum lines through here too. So I'm just gonna pull it through and run the wire to the engine bay. Okay, so we got it coming through right there, and then we have it here in the engine bay. So with that, we know how much length we have, where we could possibly put our solenoid. So let's go ahead and figure that out. All right, so I got the solenoid mounted, mounted it here. Figure that's a good spot. Got all the lines routed, so I'm just gonna go over the lines. I figure it'd be easier to go over everything once it's routed, and I could show you exactly how everything looks. So a lot of people get intimidated with the plumbing, but it's not that bad. Plumbing is pretty simple. The instructions is pretty detailed as far as what you need to do. So once you understand how turbo works, how the wastegate works, it's pretty simple to install. So the first thing I ran was the lines from the solenoid. You're gonna have two lines going to the solenoid. The solenoid is marked, so it pretty much tells you where everything needs to go. So to a Y, air in, and then that's a vent. So to a Y, these two goes to the top of the wastegate. So this line here is going to the top of the wastegate. So let's go to this wastegate that we can see. In this wastegate, I have two lines going there. So one of those lines is going directly to the solenoid. It also shows you here in the instruction. So these are the solenoids, and you got one line split into both wastegate at the top of the wastegate, and that goes to the solenoid. That goes to the decrease and the increase solenoid, because you're either going to be decreasing or increasing. 99% of the time you're increasing. You're not going to be decreasing pretty often. So the solenoids, they don't come on together. It's either one or the other. So you tee them in like that, and you run it to the top of the wastegate. All right, so we got that covered. Air in. That's this one. Solenoid says air in. That either goes to a boost source, compressor housing, or if you're running CO2, that's the one that goes to the CO2. So in the diagram, you can see it here. That's the air in, and that one goes to CO2 if you're running CO2. If you're not running CO2, that one goes to the turbo. You can see right there, I got that one going right here. Got that one going to the turbo. Now none of the lines you're running for the boost leash connects to the intake manifold. Everything connects before the throttle body. So either in the turbo pipe, the compressor housing, the pipe under there, the hot side pipe, nothing connects after the throttle body. So we got those two covered, air in and the lines going to the top of the wastegate. Now let's do the map sensor. So map sensor also has two lines, and I have two lines here. These two lines are the two lines I have routed going inside the car. That's this one and this one. So at the top of the wastegate, again, so here I have one of these going straight from the top of the wastegate all the way to inside to the part that's labeled gate. So on the map sensor, it's labeled gate, or it's labeled boost. So from the top of the wastegate all the way inside, that one is labeled and runs straight to the gate. Second one is boost. Again, that one, nothing connects to the intake manifold. So that one I have a port here on the cold side pipe, and that goes straight to inside to the map sensor. So that's what's going to read boost pressure going into the engine, and that's what's going to display on your screen for boost. So this displays boost, and then this is going to display gate as far as gate pressure on top of the wastegate. So we got that covered. The other one is vent. Nothing goes there. And then the last ones you want to run are for the bottom of the wastegate. So if you have one wastegate, connect one, and that goes to a boost source. Intake manifold, not the intake manifold, the cold side pipe, compressor housing, wherever you want to get that, but before the throttle body, not after. And that's for the bottom of the wastegate. So the bottom of the wastegates go to a boost source, and you can see here, it says it here, connect anywhere from the compressor cover to the boost pipe. And also you see instructions there, do not T or Y anything else. So the two gates you connect together, and you connect that to a boost source before the throttle body. And that's pretty much it. It's not complicated. It's pretty simple. The instructions pretty much tell you everything you need to do, and they're pretty detailed. So we got all the lines routed. Got my lines routed here. Coming along here. Goes up here. Got two going to the solenoid, and then I got two going inside for the map sensor. And that's pretty much the install right there. So that's going to be it for this install, guys, of the leash boost controller. If you guys have any questions, further questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. If you guys like the content, subscribe, like, and share. And thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one.